In this video, I'm going to show you the dyslexia-friendly features of the Kindle app on an iPad or iPhone. Now, you could legitimately ask, why on earth create a video about using Kindle on an iPad? Surely you'd use a Kindle device to read a Kindle book. But that's not necessarily the case. You can read Kindle books on almost any device, on a tablet, on a desktop, or on a laptop. A lot of homes have iPads and iPhones already, and these are very portable, and therefore they're great for accessing reading material you can carry around with you. At the same time, many of us have bought into Amazon, and therefore we use Kindle books or even Audible books rather than Apple books. So is it possible to use all the dyslexia-friendly Kindle functionality on an iPad? Now, I'm a great believer in not wasting money, but I'm also a great believer in doing everything you can to encourage children to read for pleasure. I have witnessed many reluctant readers become avid readers thanks to dyslexia-friendly Kindle functionality, and I want to check out if it's available on the iPad. Now, last year I created this video which really explored the dyslexia-friendly functionality on a Kindle Fire, and I'd really recommend watching this old video before you watch this video, because I go into detail in all this different functionality that I have seen really help reluctant readers. But in this video I'm recording now, I'm going to try and do everything here on my iPad. At the end of this video, I'll summarize what is and what is not available on the iPad. So then you will be in a position to decide which device you need for the features that are important to you. So do watch till the end. Now, I personally have a very old iPad, which works great for me, but immersion reading does not work on it. So I have recorded this on my daughter's iPad, which is an 8th generation basic model. Nonetheless, not everything worked as we hoped, and I've kept in the recordings of the mistakes we found, so if it happens to you, you know you're not alone. Before you can start using the Kindle, you have to have some things installed. So to read a Kindle book, you need to install the Kindle app and download a Kindle book. You get the Kindle app from the App Store, it's free, and it only takes seconds to download. For immersion reading, you need those two things, plus you need to install the Audible app and download the Audible book. So now I select the Kindle app and I see the books that I have installed on my device, and the little headphones shows that I have the Audible book too. I'm selecting the book Gangster Granny. We see it with the white background and the delivered font. By clicking on the page, I can go in and change settings and change the font. And I'm selecting Open Dyslexic, and then I'm changing the size of the font. I can then change the background and the alignment and spacing. And these are the other options available to me. You can now see it looks very different to how it started out. This might not seem like a big deal to you, but for some readers this makes all the difference. It makes text so much more accessible that they're happy to read it. And if I click the page, I can now select to download the narration, which is the Audible book. Once downloaded, I selected play, but this is where it all started to go wrong.
Chapter 1. Cabbagey Water.
And try as I might, I could not get David Walliams' words to line up with the text that was being shown. This is really frustrating because that did not happen when I did it on the Kindle Fire. But I don't remember there being music in the narration then. I tried and tried lots of different ways and it didn't work. So I hope you do not have this problem, but to show you immersion reading working properly, I've had to go to another book. So now I'll try again with another book, Eleanor and Park. So I select the book. Once I've selected the book, I tap on the text to get the settings and I select tap to download narration. It is now downloading the Audible book. Once the narration is downloaded, I tap it to press play. And now the narration works properly.
Chapter 1. Park. XTC was no good for drowning out the morons at the back of the bus. Park pressed his headphones into his ears. Tomorrow, he was going to bring Skinny Puppy or the Misfits. Or maybe he'd make a special bus tape with as much screaming.
So what you've just seen is immersion reading. That's where you can follow the text and each word is highlighted while listening to the professional narration. If you struggle with reading, it makes every book so much more accessible. I've known this functionality help reluctant readers to become avid readers. But what do you do if the Audible book isn't available for the book you want to read? Well, in my previous video, I showed how you can use text-to-speech. That's an electronic voice that speaks the text, but it's a very good quality electronic voice. And I personally use it when my book club selects a book that isn't available on Audible. But that particular video shows you how to do it on a Kindle Fire. I've also created a video that showed how to use text-to-speech on an iPad, and at the time you could easily have a Kindle book read using this functionality, but unfortunately that doesn't appear to be the case anymore. So let me show you what happens when you use speak page functionality now.
Thank yous. I would like to thank a few people who helped me with this book. First, the hugely talented Tony.
So you see, text-to-speech isn't working at all. It is not syncing. It's actually reading a page that was before this page, where the author thanked different people that had helped him. And it wasn't just this book. I went on and tried different pages and different books, and text-to-speech just did not work. Which is sad because it definitely worked in the past. I know, I've used it. Thankfully, the iPad and the iPhone text-to-speech functionality works on everything else, be it an email, a text, a PDF, a web page. It just doesn't seem to work very well on Kindle books anymore. So as promised at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to finish off by summarizing what I was and was not able to do. So I believe that Kindle features are wonderful for dyslexics, and I absolutely love iPads and iPhones. I think they're wonderful, but I do think you get the best Kindle functionality if you do it on a Kindle Fire, and Kindle Fires tend to be very reasonably priced, and I always buy my Kindle Fires on Amazon Prime days when they tend to do very good deals. So for the basic things, if you're just reading and not listening, the iPad and the iPhone are great. You can change the background color, the font size, the spacing, the alignment. You can add notes, you can create highlights. All of that is absolutely brilliant. And the biggest thing that I think is fab is you can do immersive reading. You cannot on my 2nd generation iPad, but you can on this 8th generation iPad. Now, I had a problem with one book. You might not have problems at all, but it would be really helpful if you shared in the comments if you don't have any problems, or if you do, or if you found a way of solving them. Obviously, WordRunner and WordRise seem to be just on the Kindle app, and that's why I would definitely go back and have a look at that earlier video that shows how to use WordRunner and WordRise. I'm sorry that I just couldn't get text-to-speech to work. It has worked in the past. I have found a way around it using the Alexa app on your iPad, but it's not foolproof. So I want to research that a little bit more before creating a video, but once I do, I will link it here. So I really hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Then hit the bell button to be informed when I create new videos, because I'm always creating new videos to help dyslexics and those that learn differently get better grades in school. I create lots of free resources to help all learners achieve. I'll put details of how to access these free resources in the details below.